Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving into the world of decentralized finance, DeFi, and its five-layer stack: stablecoins, exchanges, synthetics, money markets, and insurance.
Oh, absolutely. DeFi is really shaking up the traditional finance world, right?
Yeah, it's like dismantling the powers of centralization step by step.
Definitely.
Instead of relying on banks and centralized authorities, DeFi uses smart contracts on blockchains, mostly Ethereum, to enable these financial services.
Right. And these smart contracts are like the backbone for everything. They replace the usual middlemen, lowering fees and boosting accessibility.
Exactly. One of the key aspects, in my opinion, is the way DeFi provides permissionless financial services. Anyone with an internet connection can tap into these systems, no matter where you are in the world.
Yeah, that's pretty revolutionary. So let's jump in. First up are stablecoins. They're designed to keep their value stable by pegging themselves to assets like the US dollar or even gold, right?
Yes, exactly. With stablecoins, the idea is to overcome crypto volatility. Think of Tether, for instance. It's anchored to the US dollar on a
Yep, spot
1-to-1
on.
ratio. They come in two forms: custodial backed, which rely on reserves, and algorithmic ones that use smart contracts and digital incentives to maintain their peg, like the Ethereum based DAI.
But some folks are a bit skeptical about algorithmic ones, saying that they might be more prone to fluctuations if the mechanisms fail. What do you think about that?
Oh, that's a fair point. While algorithmic stablecoins offer an innovative way to manage volatility, they're definitely more complex. They require active incentives and arbitrage strategies to keep them pegged. Sure, they involve a bit more risk in extreme conditions, but that complexity comes with potential benefits if managed well.
Yeah, I see that. Moving on, what about decentralized exchanges? I mean, Uniswap has been a game changer here.
Absolutely. Decentralized exchanges, or DEX, let users trade directly from their wallets without involving any middlemen.
For sure.
They use something called automatic market making instead of traditional order books. Essentially, liquidity providers add pairs into pools, and the prices adjust based on the ratios set by the pool's convex functions.
Right. And that means larger orders can sometimes shift the price more significantly because of the convex relationship, right?
Exactly. It's like um, trading in a market where you might nudge the scales if you try to trade too big an amount. It's a clever way to ensure liquidity and correct pricing
Yep,
without
smart design.
centralized control.
Then we get into synthetic assets. This part is super cool and a bit mind bending. They're like derivatives in traditional finance that mimic other assets.
Right, synthetics are engineered to replicate the value of assets like stocks, commodities, or even fiat
Yeah, it's like
currencies.
magic almost.
Under platforms like Synthetics, you mint these synthetic assets by locking up collateral and using oracles to feed in real-time data, ensuring the synthetic closely tracks the price of the target asset.
So it's almost like mirroring the real asset without you actually owning it. But doesn't that add an extra layer of complexity and risk if oracles fail?
Absolutely, you hit the nail on the head. If the oracle data gets manipulated or goes haywire, the entire synthetic system could be thrown off. But
True,
when it
that's a critical
works,
risk.
it opens up so many possibilities for new types of financial instruments and markets that weren't available before.
And then we've got DeFi money markets. This is where the system really diverges from traditional banking, right?
Exactly. In DeFi money markets, borrowers and lenders interact directly without having to prove credit history or involve a bank. Lenders supply their crypto to liquidity pools and earn interest, while borrowers can quickly grab a loan based on over-collateralization.
It's so democratized. That's what I love about it. Everything is transparent on the blockchain. Anyone can check the pool status in real time to ensure things are balanced.
Right on. And unlike traditional banks that might charge hideously high fees or require mountains of paperwork, DeFi money markets are automatically governed by smart contracts, making them much more efficient and accessible.
Yep, efficiency at its best. Then, of course, there's the insurance layer in DeFi. Given all these potential hacks and exploits that have happened, insurance is kind of the safety net for investors.
Exactly. Decentralized insurance protocols like Nexus Mutual have emerged to help cover the risks, like hacking incidents and smart
That's so
contract
crucial.
failures. They function through community-based models where instead of one big company, the community governs claims and ensures that insurance is available to protect deposits and wallet funds.
It's almost like having a crowdsourced safety net, right? But some argue that such decentralized insurance might not be as robust as traditional insurance in times of extreme turbulence.
That's a fair critique. Decentralized insurance is still nascent. Its resilience is untested in truly catastrophic events.
Right,
But
I
hey,
agree.
it's an exciting step in providing extra layers of security in an otherwise risk-prone environment.
I mean, when you think about it, the whole DeFi stack is really about reimagining how every part of finance is done. It breaks down historical barriers like geography, wealth, and bureaucratic gatekeeping.
Absolutely. It's like leveling the playing field for everyone.
Absolutely,
DeFi
yeah.
doesn't just give the unbanked access to simple transactions, it even allows them to fund enterprises and get loans using nothing more than their digital identity.
And let's get back to blockchain itself. Bitcoin and Ethereum are prime examples, right? But while Bitcoin's focused on digital currency, Ethereum opens the door for programmable contracts, which basically laid the groundwork for all these DeFi innovations.
Exactly. Ethereum empowered the creation of decentralized applications, or dApps. Without that programmable layer, we wouldn't have the DeFi revolution we're looking at today.
Exactly. I find it fascinating how decentralization doesn't mean there is no center. Nodes can choose their centers, and that's the whole idea behind offering flexibility and freedom.
Right. Decentralization offers a kind of distributed control where individual nodes or parties have the freedom to select their trusted counterparties. It's not chaos, it's organized decentralization.
Yeah, that's a neat balance. Now, one has to wonder, with all these layers, isn't there a risk of the system becoming too fragmented or overly complex for the average user?
That's a great point. While the DeFi stack is robust and full of potential, its complexity could be a barrier to mass adoption. It's like building a 6-story skyscraper without providing elevators initially. Balancing
like that
innovation with
analogy.
user simplicity will be a key challenge.
And on top of that, security is always a concern, especially with smart contracts that are open to exploits.
Absolutely. No system is completely devoid of risk. However, the transparency of blockchain does allow for greater community oversight and rapid patching of vulnerabilities, which is a step forward compared to the opaque nature of traditional centralized systems.
Yeah, transparency really goes a long way in building trust. In sum, what do you think the future holds for DeFi? Where is this stack headed next?
The future is super exciting, really. As the technology matures, we're likely to see even more streamlined protocols, improved security measures, and potentially broader adoption from mainstream finance.
For sure, it's like evolution in fast forward. Do you think traditional financial institutions will eventually adopt elements of DeFi? Or will they always remain separate?
There's already a trend where many banks and financial institutions are experimenting with blockchain tech. I believe we'll see a hybrid model emerge, where traditional finance incorporates decentralized elements to cut costs and improve efficiency.
Yeah, hybrid models seem inevitable. It sounds like a future where power dynamics in finance could shift even more dramatically, giving more control back to the individual.
Absolutely. It's all about empowering people. With a decentralized approach, even those who were left out of the traditional banking system can now participate in global finance, access loans, pay lower fees, and even generate returns on savings.
Well, that was quite a deep dive. It really shows that even though DeFi is complex, its components work together to create a system that could potentially revolutionize finance as we know it.
Exactly. It's not just an economic experiment. It's a real opportunity to reshape how value and trust are built in financial systems by putting verifiable code rather than blind faith at the center.
Absolutely, could be transformative. Thanks for breaking down these layers. It really helps to see the bigger picture on how stablecoins, DEX, synthetics, money markets, and insurance all interlock in the DeFi ecosystem.
Anytime, this ecosystem is like a new frontier in finance, and its journey is just beginning. Cheers to the future of decentralized finance.